Greetings from India. Hello and welcome to this presentation on global rankings of higher educational institutions evaluating the impact on Gulf region universities. This analysis explores how Gulf universities are performing on the global stage during the years 2021 to 2025. And for this, we use data from QS and Times Higher Education rankings. I am Dr. Neeraj Sharma and I will walk you through the key findings, trends, and actual insights of this study. Over the next few slides, we'll analyze the performance of top Gulf universities, especially comparing them with leading global institutions. We aim to uncover where Gulf universities are doing well and where significant performance gaps are existing. And these gaps, particularly in the area of research, teaching quality, and international outlook. According to the context and motivation of the study, the context for the study emerges from the strategic shift within the Gulf Cooperation Council nations to diversify the economies, particularly to non-oil economies. One of the key pillars of this transition is education, and in particular higher education, which is seen as a driver for innovation, competitiveness, and knowledge-based economy. Internationalization is a key part of this transition, enabling Gulf universities to meet the global standards and enhance their visibility. Coming to the research questions, our study is primarily driven by four essential questions. Number one, how do top Gulf universities perform compared to the top global institutions during the years 2021 to 2025? Number two, which performance metrics show the largest gaps? Number three, can internationalization reduce these disparities? And finally, number four, are we seeing improvements over time in the performance of Gulf university rankings? Next, we come to the objectives and scope of this paper. The objective number one is that this study maps and compares the performance of global and Gulf universities using the QS and Times Higher Education rankings. The second objective is to focus on areas like research, teaching, and international engagement, looking closely at a 5-year window to understand the trends and changes. The objective number three is the goal of not only evaluation but also recommendation to improve internationalization, recommendation to improve research outcomes in the Gulf region. Talking about the literature review, our extensive literature review reviews 57 unique studies and reports covering the GCC economy trends, diversification strategies, and higher educational reforms. The LR shows that economic development plans like the Saudi Vision 2030 and the UAE Vision 2021 place education at the heart of transformation. The LR also indicates that the Gulf universities or Gulf countries are improving non-oil sectors like education, manufacturing, and tourism to ensure a sustainable economic future. The LR also indicates that the internationalization of higher education is a priority for Gulf nations. The universities in the region have embraced global models, with English medium of instruction being adopted, international faculty and research collaboration. All this is being aimed to be achieved. Still, however, the rankings remain a challenge, and the Gulf Cooperation Council universities tend to fall behind global peers in research citations, academic reputations, and teaching quality. Retention of foreign talent and cultural integration are other pressing issues. Now, this slide depicts the research design and approach adopted for the study. First, the data was accessed from the QS and Times Higher Education websites. Individual entries were punched into an Excel sheet. Data was clean collated. Then it was represented through visual aids like bar graphs, plots, scatter plots. After that, some tests were performed like the non-parametric t-test, Mann-Whitney test to assess the group comparisons. Repeated measures Menkova was also used for contrasting the top Gulf and top global university groups while controlling for the year effects, and principal component analysis being used to explore variance drivers. To reiterate, a comparative quantitative research design using data from Times Higher Education QS World University Rankings was used. A multivariate analysis of covariance, that is Menkova, was used to help control for the effect of time while comparing the Gulf and global universities. We also performed PCA, the principal component analysis, and non-parametric tests like the Mann-Whitney U-test to understand the performance differences. This slide on the left denotes what all parameters or performance metrics are used by the Times Higher Education ranking and the QS World Ranking frameworks. So data related to each of these performance metrics for all the considered institutions were gathered, and we arrived at the metrics for 12 top global and 12 top global universities during the years 2021 to 2025. This slide shows the kind of data which was collated. There are different metrics, performance parameters used in the Times Higher Education framework as well as the QS frameworks which were used. The top global universities considered in the study are such as the University of Oxford, the MIT, the Harvard University, the University of Cambridge, the Stanford University, the California Institute of Technology, the University of California, Imperial College London, ETH Zurich, Yale, National University of Singapore, UCL. Coming to the top Gulf region universities, the King Fahd University, the Abu Dhabi University, the Khalifa Universities, the Qatar University, King Saud University, Prince Mohammed bin Fahd University, UAE University, King Khalid University, University of Sharjah, King Abdul Aziz University, University of Sharjah, and the Sultan Qaboos University. The main results in this slide. So on the left hand side we see the plots, and the left side of the plot is for the global top institutions over the years. We compare them, and we compare them in particular with the top Gulf universities which are indicated on the right hand side of the plot. We can see the significant difference in the heights of the plots. So apart from one parameter or metric, that is the international outlook, the top global universities are leading far way ahead in comparison to the top Gulf universities. The PCA analysis also shows a distinct clustering. So on the left hand side we see the scatter plot which consists of two clusters. On the right hand side is the top global university cluster, and on the left hand side is the top Gulf university cluster. So they are distinct, separated far apart. Though we see an increasing trend compared to the x-axis, the temporal axis, in terms of performance of Gulf universities over a period of time, but still there is a huge gap between the top global universities and the top Gulf universities. Now the radar chart as shown on the left hand side of this slide, and the results of the t-test and Mann-Whitney U-test shown on the right hand side have confirmed that there is a statistically significant performance gap across the almost all the indicators between the top global and top Gulf universities. To the major implications for theory and practice of the study, the main insight is that the performance gaps, not just in time but across other parameters, define the difference between the Gulf and global universities. Improving research infrastructure and faculty development should be the focus, along with retaining international talent and aligning curricula with global standards. Internationalization needs to flow into measurable research and academic outputs to elevate the rankings meaningfully for the top global, for the top Gulf universities. Just like any other research study, this study also has some limitations and considerations. So the study is limited to a small group of top global and top Gulf universities, which may not capture the broader institutional landscape. Then the transformational changes in global rankings may need more than 5 years to manifest fully. And then the changes in ranking methodology could also influence interpretation. To summarizing the key insights of the study, the Gulf universities have made significant gains in internationalization, but continue to face challenges and deficits in the areas of teaching and research quality. Then the gap between the Gulf and global universities has narrowed slightly from the year 2021 to 2025, but it still remains significant. There is a need for continued reforms aligned with national visions, focusing on quality research and innovation. Now, talking about the key recommendations include: number one, increased investment in research and faculty quality is needed. Number two, enhanced partnership with global institutions is needed. Number three, leveraging of strength in international faculty for broader academic development and continuous engagement with global networks is needed. Number three, continuous engagement with global ranking KPIs, that is key performance indicators, and longitudinal progress tracking is required. To conclude, this study confirms substantial performance gaps between the Gulf and the global universities, yet it also highlights promising areas for growth and reform. Focused efforts in quality teaching, impactful research, and international partnerships with the help of Gulf universities will help Gulf universities to gain global recognition and fulfill the economic visions of the nations. Thank you for listening and have a nice day ahead.